Well, hi again, everybody. Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards of Football. This is the 2026 NFL Draft Prospect Show. I'm Harper LeBel. Along with me, Joey Clinkscales, Brian LeBel, and Vincent Turner are not able to be with us today. So I'm here in Los Angeles, California, from the house where I grew up. Joey is at his favorite smokehouse, having a stogie and maybe something, an adult beverage. But today we're going to talk about another wide receiver that should be on your radar. That is Concepcion out of Texas A&M. Kenneth Charles Concepcion. He was originally from Charlotte, North Carolina. He had a great high school career for the last 2 years that he was there. 65 receptions, just about 1,000 yards. He had 12 touchdowns and 3 punt returns, between a 3 and a 4-star guy. ESPN had him as a 3 or 4, and you look at the locals, and he had a different perspective for it, but everybody knew who he was. He's 5'11". He weighs about 190 pounds. So he's a much smaller wide receiver than what we've talked about previously with some of the bigger guys. Runs a 4.46 40. Obviously, the speed is an important part of this, but as a smaller body, is that going to be a hindrance, Joey? Is that going to be something that is going to hold KC back just a little bit in terms of where he ranks with some of the other guys? Wouldn't you rather have a guy that's 6'3", 6'4", versus a guy he's fast, but he doesn't have top-end speed at 4.46, for a guy that's only 5'11"? Give me your assessment of where you put KC Concepcion.
Yeah, well, I don't think the speed is going to be a hindrance. I mean, the size 5'11" is pretty big enough. If you look at some of the guys that are really some of the most productive guys in our league, Odell Beckham Jr. was 5'11". I could give you a multitude of guys who were right around the 6 foot 5'11" range, and I think this guy fits right in from that standpoint. Now, he's not fast as Odell or some of the other guys, but watching him play, I think he plays to a 4.46, 4.48. That's what I have in my notes. I never look at what his times are. I kind of put a time down from what I see on tape, and my notes say 4.48. That's what he looks like to me, a 4.4.
Hey, isn't every high school wide receiver a 4.4 or 4.5 guy? Every wide receiver is they're all there. And then you watch them out on game day, and there's no way. So is that one of the reasons why you don't assess that number? It's more of how he looks on tape. Does he break away from people? Is that one of the differences that you look for from a general manager standpoint?
Well, a time speed and a play speed are two different things for a lot of guys.
Okay.
And again, you can manufacture a time speed. I mean, some of these guys go to these off-season training camps, and they're able to run a 10th or 2/10 or 3/10 faster, but you watch them on tape, and that number doesn't transfer. So you want a guy who has that on tape, or you want actual play speed. And as a general manager, you want the play speed. Some guys will play faster than what they time. Some guys will time a 4.7. And guess what? You watch him play on football field in pads with everybody else, and he's as fast, if not faster, than some of the other guys. So sometimes those things don't translate into what you actually see on the field. So it's great when a guy can do that. I mean, this is not a track meet, so I'm not really concerned with the time speed off the field. I want to see how this guy plays on the field. And this guy overall is a good football player. He's got good speed. He doesn't have great speed. I think it's fair to say he's quicker than fast. He's a little bit of his gait is a little bit of a choppy gait, a little bit of I don't want to call him a short strider, but he doesn't have that second and third gear acceleration that you like to see. He's got good hands, great hands. He had a couple of drops this year, which were problematic at times, especially in the South Carolina game. Now they obviously came back to win that after going down 30-3 at halftime, but he dropped a touchdown in that game as well. But we're talking about a player who's multifaceted from the standpoint of he had 2 punt return touchdowns this year. We talked about a receiver earlier that was a big guy that was a punt returner. This guy had a punt return touchdown versus Texas San Antonio and LSU. Both those games he had a punt return touchdown. So this guy gives you the added value of not only being I don't want to call him a slot receiver only, but more of a slot receiver, along with being a sure-handed, for the most part, punt returner that has some explosion because he is quick. He can make the first guy miss. He's got great vision as a punt returner, and as a route runner, he can do some things. He can get in and out of the China routes pretty quick, or the exchange routes. He can create separation short, and you see him going down the field, and he can make catches down the field. He's not going to be a great high point catcher like some of the other guys versus DBs, but he does have pretty good body control. He can turn his body and make back shoulder catches. So he gives you a lot as a receiver. And again, he played at North Carolina State. He played at Texas A&M. He was productive at both places, and he'll continue to get better. I mean, you talk about it. I compared him a little bit to a guy like Jahan Dotson. And for the public that don't know who Jahan Dotson was, he was a player that I think in 2022 was a first-round pick, around the 16th pick of the draft for the Commanders. And career was so-so there. They ended up trading him to the Eagles, and he's been there. But again, another guy similar size. That kid may have even been faster, but their play style is similar. This guy is tough. He is physical. He's a willing blocker. So he does a lot of good things. And again, he's a pretty good route runner. And in today's football, the way they run routes today, he's not going to be asked to necessarily run a route tree like in the old days. So again, systems matter where he goes. But this is a really good football player.
You mentioned his North Carolina history. I'm going to bring it up as well. In high school, he had 12 touchdowns as a receiver. 3 of those add on to that as a punt returner. We mentioned that a little bit earlier. In 11 games as a freshman at North Carolina State, he had 71 receptions for 839 yards, so about 12 yards a catch. So he wasn't a breakaway guy, but he had 10 touchdowns. And he rushed, Joey, for 41 rushes for 320 yards. He was the ACC Rookie of the Year. His next year, 2024, the number drops to 53 receptions. He only has 6 touchdowns. He decides to transfer. He goes to A&M, 2 Power 5 conference programs. He had 61 receptions for just under 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, and you mentioned the 2 punt returns. So he's going to catch the ball. But one of the weaknesses that he has is his concentration level. His drop rate's a little bit high. Do I feel comfortable throwing to him 9 times out of 10 and getting a reception? Or would I rather have a guy that, 6 out of 6, he's going to make it? I'm just concerned with that number, the drop rate being a little bit higher than what some of the other players have. That can be worked on. I think that's coachable, if you ask me. That's one thing. Hey, let's go catch some more balls. Let's start catching some with one hand or the other hand. You can teach that into being a lesser of a number and lesser impact. Is that something that you would agree with?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the concentration can get better. So I'm not super concerned by that right now. Obviously, he's not going to walk in the door with a team, and he's not going to be there. Most likely, he won't be their leading receiver. He'll go to a team where he is added to the puzzle and not, the lead piece of that puzzle. So I feel comfortable with this guy continuing to grow and get better because, again, he's a pretty good route runner. He does really good things on the shake routes and the underneath routes. He has good run after the catch ability, although I would not call him a home run hitter with the ball in his hand. But he does a lot of good things. And, again, he is a punt returner who has been really effective as a returner. And the fact that at North Carolina State, his second year that before he transferred to Texas A&M, he had a young quarterback. So obviously, when you have a young quarterback and you're a star receiver, a receiver on the come up, you feel like with a young receiver, you probably aren't getting as many targets as you would like to get because the team is probably playing safe, trying to keep the quarterback engaged, trying to keep the interception rate down, trying to keep the quarterback from taking a lot of chances. So I think he left there, obviously with the NIL, to go to Texas A&M, who needed another wide receiver, and he fit in perfectly there. I mean, from opening day versus Texas San Antonio, he returns a punt for a touchdown. He has a big day. First game there, new environment, new everything. So I think this guy will continue to get better. He'll continue to grow as a receiver. He'll have his niche, whether it be as a slot receiver in the mode of, again, a Jahan Dotson Willie Snead for you guys, Saints fans who remember Willie Snead. I say Saints, but I think Willie Snead probably played for about 6 teams. But I think this guy would be a really good receiver. Do I think he will ever be a number one receiver? I do not. I don't think the number one receiver is who he is. But who knows? When it's all said and done, I mean, the hands will get better, the concentration will improve, and obviously he's tough because he had 50 rushing attempts his third season at NC State. So to be a receiver and to be used in the backfield as well tells you a little bit about his toughness, about his football acumen, the fact that they trust him to do that, to not only catch the ball, but run the ball out of the backfield, they use him on screens, they use them in a lot of different ways. And I'm sure if I studied the tape hard enough, he probably, out of the backfield, probably threw a couple passes. So they trust him to do a lot of different things.
Yeah, I think there's a real genuine agreement there that, if he can do it, let's get the ball in his hands any way, shape, or form and try to stretch our offense from a creativity standpoint. ACC Freshman of the Year, Rookie of the Year is the award. He's a Paul Hornung Award winner at A&M his final season. Again, he's a junior coming out a little bit early. One of the things that I liked, and maybe you saw this on film a little bit more distinctly than I did, is his ability to break a route at full speed and really create a separation. I think that's something, especially for a smaller guy, if he at the break is open enough to where he can be a difference maker and get the ball early before somebody can catch into him. Yes, he's a little bit smaller. Once you tackle him, you get him down. But if you give him some open space, he's got the ball in his hands. He's going to make somebody miss.
Well, a lot of times when you saw that on tape, as I did, he was in motion, so he's coming full speed, and he's able to break that off and make a catch and create separation, especially versus zone. Sometime in man-to-man. A lot of times when you see receivers do that, that's a technique thing. Some teams teach you run into a point, you run the 16-yard, you put your foot in the ground, and you come back either back at the quarterback, back at the angle on an out, or inside as a curl. And other teams teach you where you roll it, depending on the coverage. So it may be a out route that's 12 going to 15. So you're rolling that thing, and you're keeping the cornerback on your inside if you're rolling out. I mean, so it's a technique thing. So you're running at the cornerback's technique, you're dropping your weight, you get out of that thing. So if you're planting it, if you're putting your foot in the ground and planting it, then you're giving the defensive back a chance to recover. If you're rolling it, you're creating a natural separation. So we saw that a lot. And again, a lot of that is just a technique on what's been taught.
You bring up a lesson that I learned my second year in the league. I'm with Philadelphia, and the starting tight end was Keith Jackson. And they called it a 14, which was a stick route. I'm running 10 yards up the field. I go 10 yards, I turn around, and I look for the ball. Well, Keith Jackson would run a route that he'd go 5 or 6 yards wide, and then he'd go 8 yards, and he'd turn around, and Randall would throw him the ball every time. And I go, that's not what the route is. I talked to one of the coaches, the wide receiver coach one day, and I go, his name is Lou Carpenter. I go, Lou, I'm running the route the way that you drew it up. I'm running it the route the way it looks in the playbook. And Keith is running it a completely different way. Why is he getting the ball so much? Because he's open, Harper.
Because he's open.
Because he's Keith Jackson. He can run it, and he knows where the linebackers are going to be. So learning on the fly and being able to make amends in terms of the offense. If you get open, you're going to get the ball. The quarterback's going to find you. You'll talk about it during the offseason. His speed, yards after catch, he's surprisingly strong. He makes a lot of guys miss once he has the ball in his hands. I don't know what kind of blocker is. Did you see enough on film to be able to determine whether that was going to be an issue?
I don't think it's going to be an issue. I mean, he'll have to get better at it because,
and who doesn't, right? Who
doesn't? They all do. And again, the blocking schemes in college, some, but a lot in the NFL, are dependent on angles and where you are. I mean, especially if he's going to be in motion, where the snap of the ball is, how he can get to the corner, or how he can cut off a linebacker. And again, he's not going to be asked to blow someone up, to just go out and just blow a guy up. what he's going to be asked to do is hold the block, hold an angle to the running back or whomever with the ball can get past him, and you go on down the field. Okay. And every big run you see for the most part in the National Football League is because a receiver made a block down the field. Every now and again, you'll see a running back or a receiver that has just great speed and they make the play on their own. But a lot of times it's because when you see an explosive play, it's because the receiver or tight end made a block down the field. And that's what you have to get proficient at, making that block down the field.
Yep, totally agree. If you've got a mindset and if you understand the rule, my guy isn't going to make the tackle, you can play in the league for a long time. You can do it for quite a bit. So Kenneth Charles Concepcion, out of Texas A&M via North Carolina State. He's from Charlotte, North Carolina. He's a 5'11", 190-pound wide receiver that has a chance to be a second, maybe a third-round draft pick. Joey, is there anything else that we need to know about this young man?
No, I think he's tougher than what the film will tell you, especially the way they use him at Texas A&M, because you saw some of the things at North Carolina State before he left there, running the ball, and you were able to see some of that toughness that he has with the ball in his hand. Now he's got to get a little bit tougher without the ball in his hand, blocking for other people. But he has a lot of ability, and I think he'll have a chance to make an impact early for a team in the role that he'll be asked to play.
Yeah, I think option routes, boy, if he learns to go up and make a fake to the outside and then break it to the inside and get somebody to commit against where he wants to go. The old saying be, go where you want to go, then go where you don't want to go and where you want to go, and then go where you don't want to go and then fake it and then go where you want to go. There's different ways of running routes, but, staying low, using your hips to be able to create pivot ability and get from one side to the other. I think the sky's the limit for this young man. Casey Concepcion, he is our topic here of the day on the 2026 NFL Draft Prospect Show here, along with Joey Clinkscales. I'm Harper LeBel saying thank you for tuning in. Both Brian LeBel and Vincent Turner were not able to join us. They'll be back with us next week. We just want to say thank you, everybody, for being a part of the 100 Yards of Football family. If you like the show, please subscribe and tell a friend. We'd appreciate it greatly. So for Joey and myself, I want to say thank you for tuning in, everybody. Have a fantastic